I wanted to actually give you the tool that was that he mentioned that brings joy and happiness and intentionality back into his life. What up, world? And welcome back to another episode of the Seeds of Success podcast. It's your host, Colin Walters. And in last week's episode, I gave a quick overview of the Mastermind Summit that I attended in San Diego for a personal development and self-development conference. And in that episode, I mentioned a 2-minute exercise that one of the speakers and authors, Neil Pasricha, had mentioned in his talk. And I wanted to actually give you the tool that was that he mentioned that brings joy and happiness and intentionality back into his life. And then I can't say that I have done this every day since he mentioned it, but I have done it a couple of times. I have thoroughly enjoyed it. It's a 3-pronged approach. And so I'll go ahead and share that here. And super quickly before I do, I think his backstory would greatly help set the premise for where this developed. And so long story short, Neil Pasricha is a best-selling author, New York Times best-selling author, public speaker around the world. He was one of the best speakers that I have ever heard on a stage. And he went through some traumatic experiences in life. He showed up one day after getting back from work to his wife sitting on their front porch step. Long story short, she told him, "Neil, I found someone. I don't love you anymore, and I want a divorce." And so that obviously, I can't even fathom what that would feel like, but that was devastating act number 1 in his life. And then a week later, his best friend commits suicide. And these were 2 very emotionally, spiritually, and personally traumatic experiences in life. And I can't even imagine the devastation that he was going through. And he was in this downward spiral of negativity. And I mean, he said that he didn't sleep for like weeks. He lost 40 pounds in like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, something like that. And just no sleep, no food, and it's fair, right? It's fair. And he did something for himself though. And what he did is he wrote a blog post about one awesome thing that he found in his day. And so he wrote that for himself. He just needed to shift his perspective. This is the way that he put it. He needed to go and try to find something that was good about his day, which is very powerful. Like knowing what happens in life, and when we go through experiences, it can be easy to just sit in our emotions of, the things that are happening, and it can be super challenging to look for the good or the silver linings or whatever. And so the fact that he had the thought and the intentionality to do this is super powerful. And so he had one viewer on his blog posts to start, and it was his mother. And then after a couple of weeks, he mentioned that he doubled his traffic because his father decided to watch or to read, excuse me. And so then that turned into 10 people, turned into 100, turned into 1,000. And now he has millions of people looking at his blogs, his newsletter, his books, because he kept on writing one awesome thing about his day. And it just transformed his entire life. And so the practice that he gave to us is super simple, super actionable, and super practical that you can implement into literally your day today or your morning tomorrow. And so it's something to do in the morning, midday, and night. And so tool number 1 is a journaling prompt. It is three questions. What is one thing that you are going to let go? So a thought, maybe a belief you're holding on to, maybe a grudge that you're holding on to, let it go. Writing it down with your pen and paper and by your hand. Number 2, what are you grateful for? What is something good that you can find in your life to focus on? And number 3 is, what are you going to focus on today? So that's it. Number 1, what are you letting go? What are you getting rid of? Number 2, what are you grateful for? Number 3, what are you going to focus on today? As I reflected on this journal prompt, I thought it was super powerful because when we let something go, we have then created room for something else to fill that hole, to fill that gap. And so the next step being, what are we grateful for? It essentially, we're letting go of something and filling that place with something that we are grateful for. And I did this that very next day, and it was really, my spirit was immediately lifted when I started actually thinking about these things intentionally with a pen and a paper. And then, what are we focusing on brings intentionality about what we want to go and work on that day. And so I haven't been perfect in doing this exercise, but what it has also inspired me to do is start writing more. I was super disciplined and committed in my writing practice back in the day. And it was something that has kind of waned over the years, I would say. And so it has actually helped me to get back to writing out top 3 things for the day, focus points for the day. I have a little gratitude rock that every time I touch it, it's right there reminding me to think about something that I'm grateful for. And so it literally took me 2 minutes. And so my advice is just whatever comes to mind, put it on there. Don't think too much and just let it go. So that was for the morning. For the midday, the afternoon, his advice for more joy and more happiness in your life was to get outside. And that is a 2-minute walk. You can stretch this into 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever you want it to be, just getting outside. And specifically, he had, I think it was called like nature walk or something along those lines. But just like getting outside, getting into nature was like the way that he framed it up. And so I think that just as another call out to just the impact of getting into nature and the trails, moving your body outside has tremendous impact on our overall mood, attitude, quality of life, spirit, happiness, joy, all the things. So that was the second thing. And the third thing is an exercise at the dinner table is how he framed it up. Do this however you want. It's called Rose, Rose, Bud, Thorn. And maybe you've heard of this, maybe you haven't. I had not, but other people that I have talked about it with had heard it. 2 roses, right? 2 good things about your day. 1 thorn, either a lesson or something that didn't go as planned. What did you learn from it? And then a bud, what are you looking forward to? Right? So very simple thing to do. Kind of, it helps bring quality conversation to whoever you are engaging with. And, whether it's family, whether it's spouse, whether it's friends, whether it's yourself, maybe that's a journaling prompt for yourself. But those are the 3 things. I wanted to give it to you short, quick, powerful. In the morning, 2-minute journaling prompt. What are you going to let go of? What are you grateful for? What are you focusing on? Second thing during the day, get outside, move your body outside. Third thing, rose, rose, bud, thorn. Rose, what was something great that happened in your day? Thorn, what is a lesson or something that didn't go as planned during the day? Bud, what are you looking forward to? I hope this helps you in any way. Let me know if it does. I'm still trying to figure out how and when to incorporate these things. They're at least top of mind. I'm at least doing them more often than I had been in the past. And at the end of the day, I think Shelby and I have done it a couple times now for the rose, rose, bud, thorn. It's been nice to at least, have some dedicated intentionality and talking points for, a very specific conversation about the day and things that we're looking forward to. So hope this finds you well. Again, I know I mentioned it in the episode last week, and I am starting to learn that the more that anybody can share this podcast, this video, this episode, it is greatly helping the greater impact of positively impacting people's lives. So I thank you for that. Thank you for the 5-star ratings and reviews and the feedback. It's greatly appreciated. I appreciate and love you all, and I will see you on the next episode.